Today's topic, Puff Daddy's been arrested.
I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that you just got stopped. You didn't stop, but you got arrested.
I'm telling you, the feds were watching you. Every step you took,
every move you make.
We won't be missing you, okay? And now we're at a point where this guy won't even get bond because the judge says, or the prosecutors made the case that this guy's a huge flight risk, so he's going to be in jail. Now, some people are going to say things like, Abba, he's not been found guilty. Let me tell you guys.
Innocent until proven guilty.
If the feds come for you, it's over. Okay? And you may not understand the difference, but for example, right now, YSL out in Georgia are going through a RICO case themselves. But that's at the state level. And it's going horribly for the state. And there's a very strong chance that YSL Young Thug will get off on those charges because I've been watching that whole trial unfold. A federal charge is not the same at all. The federal government has way more tools to be able to find evidence, to prosecute you. And in federal court, they have a conviction rate that's so high. I think it's like 99%. That's why a vast majority of the time, if things are going to federal court, what ends up happening is that everyone's guilty or they take a plea deal. And in which case, they're still going to do a substantial amount of time.
And the thing that happened is that this one is going to be highly publicized. Media is going to be on that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be a high profile case.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like, no, let's just drop it or let's just move this thing on silence. There's no silence.
The feds don't let go. Once they're on something, the moment I heard the feds were looking into sex trafficking, I knew it was over for this guy. If you aren't aware, he's facing charges of racketeering, which is RICO, which is essentially going after people for engaging in criminal activity as part of an organization. Meaning that's not just him going to jail. There's other people who helped him. And if you go read the indictment, there's actually a lot of allegations in regards to how bodyguards, agents, and other employees help facilitate some of these freakoffs. If you don't know what a freak-off is, that's what he would call his freaky parties where he'd have his employees and the women he would do some freaky things and he would record them without them knowing. And then if they were trying to come forward, he would try to extort them or apply pressure through career or exposing them to keep them to be quiet. Remember when the feds went and broke down his home? They showed up with a bunch of people. Yeah, they were seizing things. You know what the funniest details from the story?
Yeah.
Go ahead, say.
The funny detail about the story is that in my house, I have 2 baby oil bottles, and I think it's too much. And they found thousands.
Thousands of baby oil bottles? Those were for his freak-offs.
And that, to me, is crazy. Sir!
The dude's got lawsuits ranging in the hundreds of millions. He's got $100 million worth of baby oil, so I think he's good. He's on them baby.
He can resell that on the black market, and he's cool.
But let's move on to the next charge.
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
You have to understand what human trafficking takes. If you take someone from one place and you move them to another place and you arrange their travel and you pay for that person to have services, it's trafficking.
And so the reason why this is federal is because this happened across state lines. A prosecuting team in New York cannot go all the way to Alabama and do all these things and conduct their investigation. They don't have jurisdiction. They can't charge the person for crimes there. That's where the FBI comes in because they charge things across state lines on a federal level.
Yeah, so there's right now there's LA, there's New York, there's Florida, there's a bunch of different states that are involved in that. So
dozens of different women are part of this investigation. There's also males who are part of this investigation because the Freakoffs also involved male victims. Now, you can feel how you want about this thing. I watched this man on camera beat a woman. There's his own bodyguard talking about not only how he beat that woman before the video ever came out, but he also talked about how he used to beat his ex-wife. And her family corroborates the fact that he used to beat her and then pimp her out.
How many times did you personally witness him be violent towards women?
Around 4 or 5 times.
And was that all with Cassie, or was it Cassie and other women?
I seen him with Cassie, and I seen him with Kim Porter, his kid's mother.
So this video comes from the Cuff Boys, and he goes to the indictment, and I thought there's some interesting stuff.
All right, let's go, boys. All right, right here we got the United States versus Sean Combs.
Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy.
A.k.a.
P. Diddy.
A.k.a.
Diddy.
A.k.a.
P.D.
A.k.a.
Love. That's what it says. That's creepy. Don't even front. Imagine some nigga just rolling on you, coming out of the bathroom in a bathrobe.
Hey, my name is Love.
And then the girl's just behind over there. Ooh, daddy, come to bed. You can call me Love.
Love.
Ew. You know one of the funniest clips ever? Is P. Diddy is a picture of him, and it's just him riding a bike. And then there's 50 cents in the comments saying, you know there's no bike seat on that thing. I can't believe
Who killed Pac?
I can't believe people can't believe that this man ran a criminal organization. From the jump, he called himself Bad Boys. He was letting you know what he was up to. He was letting you know he's up to no good.
Don't
Started making trouble in our neighborhood.
Indictment. For decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy P. Diddy, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on his employees, resources, and influence of multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of...
If you wonder what the arson is, I remember this story. Kid Cudi.
Yep.
Somebody blew up his car. He'd always alleged it was Puff Daddy. Why? Because his ex wanted to get with him.
Cassie.
So P. Diddy, it was alleged that he blew up his car. Well, it turns out that shit is true. This man, that's how possessive and jealous he was. He blew up another man's car.
Justice. So basically, he's the f***ing devil. Sorry. I know this isn't funny, but headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles, under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global. Corporate entities in the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, apparel line, alcoholic spirit business, marketing agency, and television network and media company. Engaged in persistent and pervasive pattern of towards women and other individuals.
I think it's worth mentioning, if people don't realize, P. Diddy's a billionaire. Okay? He's huge in terms of just how much power he has in the industry. And you have to think, a lot of the women who are alleging things happened to them came into the music industry at a time where people like this guy ran everything. There was no SoundCloud. There was no other come up. You came up through record labels and you came up through people like Puff Daddy. And so if they want to take advantage of you and you wanted to have a career, there was nothing you could do. Okay? And even if you wanted to do something, by the time you wanted to, they were already extorting you. They were already using camera footage of you. They were already saying they were going to ruin your life. And so you really didn't have a choice in these kinds of situations.
So much stuff, like there's so much stuff over your head that's you have a Damocles sword on your head right now. He controls media. He controls fashion industry. He controls music. So if you're a musician, done. If you want to do fashion, done. Music, done. Everything is done. You can't really go anywhere. And if you're in none of these circles, he can just coerce you because he has the footage. So he could just, the footage got leaked for some reason. And it wasn't me.
Yeah. Back in those times, having something leak about you was like a death sentence.
Yeah, it was.
So it's not like today where everyone got an OnlyFans or whatever. Those times is a completely different time.
Kardashian made it cool.
If you want to just understand just how much power this guy had in his environment, the dude was given the keys to the city. He was recognized by the local government. This dude had his...
He's a doctor.
You know, the honorary.
Okay, honorary, but he still gave him...
But you understand how much kind of influence this man has. So when people are saying this guy ran a criminal enterprise, you have to understand he used his organizations to do his illegal activities.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how big of a person he was in terms of entertainment. When I saw a bunch of rappers sit at the table while this dude was doing gay-ass such shit, talking about, yo, why don't you party with me, daddy? Yo, daddy, I like the way you do that, daddy.
I got Mr. Lee.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag?
I like when you like this, daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and
right
scraping for shit.
No, I got
I like that.
Shit. You know, I've been practicing. I got.
Yeah. Did you miss me though? For real, because it seems like a thing.
I
with
miss
this
partying
birthday
with
party,
Puff, man.
But I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really partied.
When I saw these guys go,
and nobody said shit.
Nobody said nothing.
And that's all the people that are claiming to be. That's all the people that are claiming to be gangsters that do this and that smack a motherfucking this and that.
They were
everybody
terrified.
Who stay quiet.
They were afraid of this man.
And I understand.
Yeah,
I'm not even throwing them. I can understand in the way and the power that this guy had. I understand where what was going on there. But
pussy
still happened.
Pussy. You can't make all that music talking about how hard you are, how you gonna bang on niggas, and then when a dude wanna bang you.
Wait, huh?
No pause, no nothing.
Nope.
Just you let that shit slide.
Just a slide.
Okay.
Just a silence.
Anyways.
Women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. This is where it gets sus. Bro was forcing women to have sex with other men. Like, straight, he's a cuck. Times, Combs, and others acted as direction, made arrangements for women and other commercial sex workers to fly to his location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off at the same time using intimidation and violence. So cornering them by all ways you can imagine to force them to have sex with random men because he's a fucking cuck. Physical abuse. We all saw the video in the hotel of him running in a damn robe numerous occasions from 2009. Combs assaulted women by striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman she was attempting to leave. When a member of hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to deprive the staff member to ensure silence. It was not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses, and abuse to others. He used his business to cover up his abuse and commercial sex. His employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates, acted as Combs' intermediaries. Members and associates of Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution.
Ooh, the fact that they're mentioning all this in the indictment, you know what that means?
I mean,
they
they're
got
gonna-
snitches everywhere.
Oh yeah,
And,
motherfuckers.
and you guys understand a RICO, what happens when you have a RICO is that everyone who's part of the organization is going to jail for 20, 30 plus years. Some of them even life. They can face life in prison for being part of this organization. So when the FBI is coming to your door, you're the personal assistant, they're saying, we're going to put you in life behind bars if you don't testify against this man and against some of the people who are at the top of this pyramid. Of course these people are going to snitch. They're going to say everything. They're going to keep all the records, all the text messages, all the pictures they took, and they're going to turn all that shit over. It is done. They got everything on this dude.
And the thing that happened is that the reason why they publicized certain cases like that in the beginning, it got rated. Some of these people working for the are going to be like, God damn, I got to fess up about some shit. Or else they're going to get me. So there's the people that they know about and all the people that are like, hey, by the way, I want to talk to you about something because, yeah, I'm in hot water.
Protecting the Combs Enterprise and its members and associates, including Combs, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against individuals who witness the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. That's bad. So there's clearly some, serious witness intimidation evidence in this case as well.
So if you're unaware, there's also instances of witness intimidation where he ended up contacting somebody
Who saw something?
53 times. He called her in 24 hours. And then afterwards, she ended up coming out with a statement on Instagram after all those calls. And so they're using that. And then they got her basically saying, yeah, he did intimidate me. So this dude's panicking. He sees everything crumbling. And he has such a lavish lifestyle. But here's the kicker. If you made money as part of a RICO process, as part of an illegal enterprise, the government was going to recoup all of that money. You can try to hide it. You could put it in shell companies, but they're going to come for all your properties. They're going to come for all of your belongings. Even if you try to transfer it to your kids, they're going to come for that shit too. Because if you make money from illicit trade and you use your enterprise to be able to conceal that, they're going to take everything. So financially, his kids are not going to be destitute or dirt shit poor. But they're no longer live this lavish lifestyle of a billionaire. That shit's over.
Or they're going to have to redo their money by their own.
I saw his son rap. That nigga's trash.
Combs and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship, use force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with the males, commercial sex workers. Combs referred to as other things as freakoffs. So we've heard about this freakoff situation. This man is a weirdo. Freakoffs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, and masturbated during, and often recorded. In arranging these freakoffs, Combs, with assistance of members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Freakoffs occurred regularly. He distributed drugs.
You want to know, I want you guys to think about this. This guy's going to try to claim he's not a weirdo, that everything was above board. Think about trying to explain to regular people that you're some Hollywood exec who used to bring sex performers and random women all kinds of drugs, and then you would have them do freakoffs that you masturbated to. They're going to look at you like you're a disgusting weirdo. Okay? Now, being a disgusting weirdo is not illegal in and of itself, but I want you to think about how it's going to play in the perception and the mind of a regular person he's going to be trying to convince the jury, I'm not guilty of these crimes. I didn't do anything really weird or illegal. And all the jury's going to hear is like, you're really fucking weird. And you're really disgusting. You do things that we would never do. So is it a stretch to think that you would traffic people? You would do something called a freak-off? It's so inflammatory There's literally no way you're going to get this in front of a jury and then get them to believe that you weren't forcing any of these women, especially when they found the tapes, especially when you don't have all that corroborating evidence.
To victims, in part to keep victims obedient and compliant. Unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. After Freakoffs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use.
Yo, the details are disturbing. This guy was so nasty and freaky. They had IV fluids like these guys were UFC fighters. Do you understand how much debauchery was going on here? Yuck.
I mean, there's no... This guy's the devil. But remember, he's presumed innocent. High-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff facilitated the freak-offs by, and other things, booking hotel rooms, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil.
I will never look at baby oil the same way.
I'm not going to look at baby oil the same way.
If I meet any girl, she says, yo, you ready to get on a freak-off? I'm like...
No.
Yo, this guy would organize freak-offs. He had a name for it. And also, this is not alleged. This is a known thing in the industry that he was into freak-offs. Everybody, all the celebrities always talked about this.
It's just funny. Just this is the image of him going like, "Hey, you know what time it is? Bang, freak off, baby, booty queef, freak off, booty queef."
Lubricant, linens, lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims and sex workers, and Combs to and from the freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay commercial sex workers, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. What a freaky little fucker. During this search of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies. Is this real life? Are we really reading this? Including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Oh, you're a little freak, P. Diddy. Because 10 bottles of baby oil isn't enough. They need 1,000.
That's exactly what I said.
You can never have enough baby oil.
Yes, you can have too much.
The funny thing about baby oil is like one bottle lasts you so long.
You can have too much.
Why would you ever need 1,000?
Yo, you want the whole shit wet. You want to be sliding to tomorrow morning.
You want to be sliding across the planet.
Sliding across state lines.
Yo, forget the Silver Surfer.
Baby oil surfer.
Yo. Yeah, it's over. No other way to put it. This man's going to jail. He's going for a jail a long time. And guess what? I'm glad. Send all these little fucking freaky weirdos to jail. Okay? All the dudes who got to do whatever they want because they got famous early on, send them all to jail. Make them all pay. And let them die and rot in there. I don't even care if these people see a firing line, to be honest with you. I don't care what happens to them. They were down with hurting all these people. They didn't give a shit about them. I'm okay with them being removed from society. And I know some people DM me, "Oh, Abba, you just want to see a black man." I don't give a fuck if that dude was purple, white, yellow, Asian. Don't care. Don't care. He could have been straight out the set of The Simpsons. Don't give a fuck. Okay? You guys are too concerned with what gender did what their skin color is, and all this other bullshit. I don't give a fuck. If you hurt people, then it's okay for you to face the consequences of your actions. I watched this man on camera ragdoll this lady. I watched him toss her around without care, knowing the way he did that in a hotel elevator lobby means that was not the first time he did that. He did that in his fucking towel, beating her and ragdolling her there where anybody could see. You don't just start there. You've been doing that. You've been doing that for a long time. That's just a fact. There was no hesitation. This man chased her down and ragdolled the shit out of her and kicked her. Like he was in a fucking street. Like this was Def Jam, Fight for New York. I was right.
Yeah.
It was that, Fight for New York.
Yeah.
He was kicking her like it was Def Jam, Fight for New York.
Yeah. I just want to say that a lot of big dick deviants are going to catch hell in 2024. That motherfucker was right. I just got to say.
Pat Williams produced it.
I'm just saying.
Like a prophet. I'll say this too. If you in a hotel lobby and on the other end there's P. Diddy and a towel running at you, that got to be one of the scariest things. That's my thoughts on this. It's over for this guy. He's 1,000% going to jail. The question is just how long. And in my estimation, he's looking at probably 50 plus years.